Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outside internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for June 1st, 2019. With your host, Peacemaker2448, and Wrap It Up Salon.
Hi.
It is the last show before E3. Well, the last podcast before E3. Which, I'll be honest, feels like it kind of snuck up on us, or on me at least.
On you, maybe. I have this dumb mindset of thinking things are happening at wrong times, and that's what more got me. Because for some reason, I thought it'd be next month. And then I happened to realize that, no, E3 and SGDQ are in the same month. And I thought, oh god.
Yeah, they're like weeks apart from each other, aren't they?
Yeah, and usually that doesn't happen.
Must be a timing thing.
It had to be. And that might have been what threw me off. Because I knew SGDQ was coming up, and I was thinking, okay, well, E3 will probably be right after then. Nope.
Well, as always before E3, we do have our talk on the E3 going in. Well, we're looking forward to what we think of the press conferences, which are in total 5, which is the least it's ever been for every time we've done this, I feel like.
I think.
If not, it's like tied for the smallest it's ever been. And what's even more like weird is like one of the big 3 is not having a press conference, nor is even at E3 this year in any capacity.
Yeah, and that's what's weird.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it's not Nintendo.
No, they're still there, doing their thing.
Like the way they've been the last few years, I would fully expect it to be them over it being Sony.
Yeah. But I wish I looked into this, but Giant Bomb on their podcast was talking about something that came out about the ESA and E3 and about like how it's been downsizing more and more and more because more people have just went, oh, like we have all of these social media tools at our disposal. We can just announce our shit whenever. Like we don't have to go here to announce our shit. We can just do it whenever.
Okay. Yes and no. I agree with that, but I disagree with that at the same time. Yeah, we are at a point where you don't have to have a set time of the year to announce all of your yearly plans.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like, and really this year it kind of baffles me that Sony didn't follow through with it, because I would think E3 would be the optimal time to announce something big like a console.
It is, but I think both Sony and Microsoft have silently agreed to next year.
But even with that, being able to tease it.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, case in point, they could tease where they're at with it too, because didn't you say there is some footage of the recent Spider-Man game running on the PS5?
There was like word about it, and then official video, like camcordered, like in like this, like I guess internal meeting at Sony of some guy just recording this, which feels like this seems intent. Like this doesn't seem suspicious at all. The comparison between Spider-Man running on PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5. And the biggest thing to come out of it is just load times. Where the load time for the PlayStation 4 Pro was cut down to an eighth of a second on PlayStation 5. Now, bear in mind, I've seen the footage. It's not actually running the game. It's more just like kind of tech demo, flying you through the area or through New York. You don't actually see the game being played.
But still, something like that, you can't tell me that's the only game they're trying with.
Yeah. Especially for how big Spider-Man must have done for them.
At the same time, I feel like, okay, if Sony has at least been playing around with their next one, Microsoft probably has two, and they probably have a name nailed down for it at this point. So I would have figured this would have been the tease year. We're not getting any actual confirmation about any kind of price points, any kind of tech specs, but we're kind of getting that whole, here's what it's going to be called, look at what we've gotten it to do right now.
Yeah. I vote 720 squared.
No, 722. But not like 722, 720, and then the number 2 at the end.
But that's why I say squared, so the 2 is worked in there. But it's dumber.
No, I'm calling it now, and I'll be amazed if they go against it. It'll be the Xbox 10.
I can't wait for it to happen.
I am gonna be completely surprised.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to be something dumb, to be honest. Well, we do have a shorter list of articles this week, mainly due to the fact of several of which are just, hey, tune in next week for our thing pre-E3, or tune in to our thing at E3, like the Avengers game that Square Enix is finally going to be showing off that sounds suspiciously like Marvel Ultimate Alliance to some degree. Except it's being made by IDOS.
Yep, tune into E3.
We have a Pokemon Direct next week. Next Tuesday, correct?
I don't know on that. But there again, tune in pre-E3.
Yeah. Bungie will be showing off something for Destiny within this next week in terms of their new season.
Previous statement still applies.
Yeah. No, Wednesday. Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern. We got 15 minutes of Sword and Shield information. I would not be surprised if it is the kind of the basics of the game.
Probably.
Because we know there's trainer customization, so they'll probably show that off a little bit. But they'll also go, there's that. Here's like some of the like first area Pokemon to give you some new Pokemon to talk about. We'll probably see like your starting, like your hometown, and then like the first route or so. And we will probably have the box art legendaries. That, or they're pocketing those for E3. Which I'm really curious about those box art legendaries, especially since they are most likely weapon dogs of some variety. I'm super curious. I want to know what my sword dog and my shield dog look like. Tommy, you there?
Yep.
Okay. Thought Discord was deciding to be dumb.
No, it's not being dumb.
Okay. That's all that. So, before we get into articles, Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple of weeks?
Truthfully, not as much as I probably should have. But I did get a new PB for Odyssey, and I'm questioning how much of that might have been load time improvements.
Ooh.
Because, for those that don't know, the Switch, one of the last system updates, has basically enabled overclocking of the processor. So, remember how the load times on Breath of the Wild were like just all over the place on Switch?
Yeah.
Yep, no more.
Yay!
And God, are they not like so much quicker?
Apparently, the VR stuff is not anything to write home about for Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, because I think that came with both of with that update as well.
Yep. And Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, or Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Because Smash gets added into that whole, the VR stuff's just not what it's aimed to be.
But I did see essentially a pitch from Super Bunny Hop in a video today that did pinch a really cool VR thing that Nintendo can do, and they literally have everything like already set for them to do it.
Okay.
VR support for old Nintendo games, like your N64 and your GameCube titles.
Maybe, but then that gets back to the whole issue with why it doesn't really work with Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. They're not made for it.
True.
Like, I feel like if Nintendo wants the VR part to go anywhere, we need more than Labo that was designed for it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to keep plopping it into every game that they've got. No, they need a new game that's the idea going into it, is they're focusing on that.
Well, the crux of it came from, apparently Dolphin has VR support.
Yep.
So I saw footage of what, like, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox, Thousand Year Door actually looked with VR support.
Now, okay, you know what? I take that back, what I said. A game that actually might transfer over pretty decent to VR would be Star Fox 64, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because there was the cockpit view.
Yep. And what I saw was in cockpit view, and I'm like, this looks pretty cool.
And that also makes me think that in retrospect, Zero could even be done that way.
Hey, look, Nintendo, you have a reason to port Zero to Switch.
And I mean, they could port it complete VR or non-VR, because basically all it is you toggle between gamepad view and screen view.
Yep.
Like, that's what's funny. Gamepad view already kind of had VR-esque features where TV mode really didn't, so I mean, that is a thought.
Well, the thing with we also saw Super Mario 64 with VR support is the ability to kind of look around. Like, it acts as a better camera than those games had, to be honest.
But I still think it comes down to the same thing that Odyssey would have had in terms of Super Mario 64. Like, I feel like those two are too much similar for it to have any different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but that's just what I feel anyhow.
Yeah. Super Mario 1 looked cool because it was like, this is a storybook, like, paper crafted world, and now that it's like you actually get to look around it, it looks even more like you're you're actually reading or not necessarily reading a book, but like you're kind of like more drenched in the world now. And also, since you can look around, you can spot those star pieces that are hidden behind objects because, yeah, you shouldn't be able to spot this with a normal camera. But now that you have the VR camera, you're like, oh, there's a star piece right here. Which is one of those things that's like, that's weirdly, like, Thousand Year Door weirdly works. Because of how its presentation is. Like, you could, like, it's not, like, designed for it, but, like, in terms of just, if you want to be in VR and play a game, this is something that would, like, look good in VR. And that's the benefit of doing older games in VR, is that you don't have to downgrade them to make them work.
True.
Especially on a Switch. Although you would have to worry about if the frame rate got turned up, that causes issues, because apparently if you turn up the frame rate hard enough, you can't beat the final boss of the water dungeon in Ocarina of Time. Like, it's impossible, apparently.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I did play around with Odyssey's VR thing. No, I don't have the Toy-Con headset for it. But just kind of getting a feel of if the controls and everything felt decent. Mm-hmm. I thought it did to a point, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right because you're in a fixed location. Yeah, you can move Mario, but the camera's kind of stuck.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild one's not the case. You still follow Link, but graphically speaking, the game's got to take a hit for that.
But, okay, there again, though, then that kind of... You're still in a fixed position for the camera, and that's fine. But I have to think that also might cause problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did get a new TV in it. Like I said, I'm wondering if some of it is the update, because coming out of lunch and I've had a theoretical 1 hour mark that I could hit for it, and or sub 1 hour mark, and I actually got it by like almost 2 minutes. So I'm like, I feel like some of that is the loading and not so much its skill. It's one of those, I'll do a couple more runs before I fully decide on that one. If I'm consistently doing that, then that tells me that was that big of a difference in loading times. Also, I hate the fact that if I've not done Moonskip in a while, I suck at it. Like, that's all there is to it. If I've not done it in a while, I suck at it.
That skip is so deceptively difficult. Because if you watch people do it, it doesn't look that hard.
It's but really not in theory.
Yeah.
The fact that it is so precise is what makes it hard.
Yeah. I kind of wish that skip didn't exist in the game. Otherwise, I'd probably be more into doing Odyssey speedruns. But fuck me, do I not want to do Moonskip for like 2 hours?
I mean, you could go through the cave, but I'm wanting to say even failing Moonskip for like a minute and a half, you're still quicker to do Moonskip.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about Moonskip is that it's so stupidly precise, but yet it saves you so much goddamn time. It's ridiculous. I wish the trick was like freer.
I feel like that might be why I took a liking to Festival Percent as quickly as I did, because I don't have to fight with that. The only RNG in that is literally Mecha Wiggler.
Yeah, and that's...
Which, I mean, with that, it's either a 2 or a 3 cycle.
Yeah.
So if you wind up getting a PB with the 3 cycle, you're good. If you get a PB with the 2 cycle, though, you're screwed unless you get a 2 cycle.
Yeah.
And it sucks in a run like Festival Percent because you're at the end of the run.
Yeah, that's... You're
within the last 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
In Festival Percent.
Yeah, depending on how fast you get the rest of the band members, yeah, you're just about done.
Well, I'd say that based off of my splits. I think my Metro split in any percent, I think, is like 10 or 11 minutes. And I think it's about the same in Festival, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
You would think getting different moons it would be different, but no, it's actually about the same.
Yeah. Maybe I should try a Festival Percent run at some point. It would get me back to playing Odyssey because I am going to be needing a break from the game I have been playing for about a week plus solid at this point. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so, actually.
Well, I've been playing Cyber Sleuth Hackers Memory for a week plus now. Since I got it, and I'm not gonna need a break when I'm done with this game, or like when I beat the main story on it, because oh boy, does this game want you to grind if you want to fill out that codex for all the Digimon. Because I've showed up on stream like how the Digivolution system works, and how it practically, because of one stat in the fucking game, which is the most obnoxious thing in the world, forces you to like go halfway around the world to get the thing you want. I really wish that stat didn't exist. If that stat didn't exist, it would be a lot more fun, because you could just like, it would be more focused on the actual stats of your Digimon, because I don't think that ABI stat does anything outside of just locking you out of certain evolution trees. It's like, I enjoyed the game otherwise, outside of the fact of this specific, like, I don't want to call it a sequel. It's more of like a DLC expansion. Because it's pretty much just, here's a side story that was going on alongside the main game. So there's a bit of padding, to be honest, in terms of like, oh, you have to take cases, and these cases, most of the time, have nothing to do with the main plot. But you do them because they give you experience, they give you equipment, they give you all the stuff you want, like memory ups, like increase the amount of memory you have, and the amount of memory determines how many Digimon you can take, because different Digimon take different amounts of memory to be in your party to start with. And depending on how far up a Digivolution tree they are, they'll take more memory. Like, I believe a Mega takes around 20 memory. And me at chapter 13 of the game only have about 140 memory available to me.
Well
So
done.
you can imagine like how many Digimon I can have on my party at like that high a level. And that's because I just now got the 140. I think you start at like 60 or something. And you can only go up by 5 unless you get a memory up DX that makes you go up by 10. That is not the correct thing. Where is it? There it is. Also, I've been using a guide to make sure I don't miss shit, because there is shit you can miss in this game. Because, of course, there is.
Of course.
Oh, no. You start at 20. And you max out at 250. So honestly, like after a certain point, you can just like equip whatever, but it takes a while to get to that point where you can literally just have a full team of megas and like super megas and like the best Digimon in the game, and like nothing will stop you. It also doesn't help that I've snapped the difficulty in half in this game. I was going through a like series of fights that I just recently unlocked. I was one-shotting everything in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this is on like a standard difficulty, and I practically already snapped the difficulty in half. Like, there's nothing that can challenge me, really. Like, I'm pretty sure I could go through some story fights, hit that auto battle button, and put the controller down, and I will still win.
Oh, man.
Of course, my save file, I think my save file was shown off in terms of its time on it on stream when I showed it off, where it was like 80 something hours or something like that.
I think.
Yeah, that's not accurate, because that is taken when I first played the game. It imported my save from the original Cyber Sleuth game. So it started with the time off that save file and then added on. So now I'm at 100 hours when I've only been playing the game for like probably 30. Maybe 20 probably. I don't know. I've done some grinding and stuff to try to get some Digivolutions that I've wanted. But once more, it's just a grindy, just boring process of just go to this one area, hit the auto battle button, get levels, hit it again to get levels, etc., etc. Wrapped up Thousand Year Door, and I can now see like Ty's complain about the game with its padding, because there are points in this game that it feels like it's super padded, and it does not need to be padded.
Makes sense. I mean, I feel like that. I feel like that's the thing that most RPGs try to avoid, but some just can't.
Well, it feels weird for Thousand Year Door, because it's like the problem for Thousand Year Door is just getting to a chapter, and getting in there takes too long for some chapters. And I feel like that was never a problem for the original Paper Mario. The only problem for the original Paper Mario, probably, like the only problem with the original Paper Mario in terms of getting the chapters was just direction and getting there. Like here, we know where to go. It just takes us 5 years to get there. Which is more just my problem. So yeah, I wish it was paced better. It feels easier than the original Paper Mario, I think. I like the party members. I do kind of wish that the original party got to show up like they were planning to do, because apparently I think only like Koops gets to show up in this game as a cameo, no one else from the original game gets to show up from your party. And I kind of wish they did. Because there are some parallels you can draw between them, but it'd be neat to have those interactions. And it's also a shame that none of these characters they've built up ever get to be referenced again, like in Super Paper Mario, or Color Splash, or Sticker Star. Those three get to be a bit more paint by numbers for a Mario game, especially Sticker Star and Color Splash. Like, Super Paper Mario gets to break away a little bit, but the other two, not so much. And it sucks because I miss that like variety of party members you can bounce off of in like dealing with their own problems and recruiting them. But today, because it came into the mail, even though I got an email from the post office saying it'll come in tomorrow, like 10 minutes later, it's at my front door. Because of course it is. I got the I guess the latter part of Wave 2 of the mini plot for Ryu Soldier. I say it that way because Wave 1 was just the basic mech. And then Wave 2 decided, well, here's that plus the new stuff. So I didn't want a copy of the stuff I already had, so I had to go a long roundabout way of getting this. I actually had to order through a middleman service off Amazon Japan, where Bandai was officially selling just the new stuff as a thing you could just buy, which no other website was doing, and I don't understand why. Like, this was Bandai's official Amazon of Japan, like, storefront. Like, why isn't another store doing this? I'm confused. So yeah, it's Tiger Lance, Mirror Needle, and Demon Volcano, which I need to give you this so you can see images first of the three of them before I show you a really dumb thing that I did. Because the thing about the Ryu Solar mechs is they have this like 4-port plug-and-play system that is like line wide. So they have all of these 4-peg ports and plugs that you can stick stuff on and take apart. And those are your main connections for everything. So it encourages you to kind of do whatever. So I did do whatever. So I tried to take the three of them and make one thing out of it. And what I got was
I'm trying to load the first image, by the way.
Okay.
It's taking a while.
I figured. I was about to say, which of these four images? We'll go with that one. What I got was what I just linked to in Discord. So you know how it's common for Sentais to have a cluster. Say hello to my clusterfuck. That by no means is official. That is just that this is it. Of me trying to just jam these three decks together in something cohesive. It could ever look, to be honest. Hello?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened.
It was streaming the entire time. It hitched after a while, but was it the blog post I linked?
I believe it was.
Okay. Let's try with just one image.
By the way, you're gonna have to redo that entire thing that you were saying. Because when I clicked the link and I said it was still trying to load, yeah, after that is when it decided to say no.
Oh, okay. Well, trying to think what I said. All right. Anyway, I already have, because I linked just the image of the assortment for Wave 2. I have practically everything there from because that was released in Wave 1. So the only thing new are Tiger Lance, Smear Needle, and Demon Volcano, green, black, and I guess gray and clear red plastic in the image in the Discord. So I just got them. And then I decided to do a dumb and tried to stick all three of them together. Because the Ryu Soldier mechs have this 4-port plug-and-play system across the entire line. So essentially you can kind of Lego build them as necessary. So what you see in like the image I took off my phone up there, that's what I ended up with.
Also, I'm not gonna try to do anything on stream because my luck. Anyway, I tried to do it, it won't work.
Okay. But yeah, as you can see, I created a clusterfuck.
Doesn't look any worse than some of the stuff we've had.
I think the only improvement I've made is I've turned the heads around. Like Tiger Lance and Mirror Needle's heads around, so now that port isn't shown from the front. It doesn't help that I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and I was just plugging stuff until stuff together in a way that fit. Is the only real limitation here, is just trying to figure out how do I get this shit to fit on here, and also how do I use everything, because that is literally using every single part off all three of them, outside of like the mech heads that they come with. Like that's every part. And what's a worse experiment I'm going to do, which I tried earlier today before we streamed, was slapping all 6 of these together into some coherent mech form.
Oh dear God.
Initial experiment, not great, to be honest. But we'll see what a second take does, because like I think the blog post helped because it broke down. It helped view them breaking down into their component bits. I think no, of course not. Like, it helps to have an idea of like how bad could it be to try to put these together when you see like it broken down into their base components. Because like Tiger Lance splits in half, and then of course his head comes off, his tail comes off, and the lance bit that you can't see in the picture, but you can see in my picture, comes off. And those are its base components. Like Mirror Needle, like the head comes off, the tail comes off. His back splits into 2 parts. His legs are actually like 2 parts as well, and that top bit on his back comes off. And in Demon Volcano, his legs, or like his left and right legs, are one piece. His head kind of comes off into his head part, and then a little like clear plastic like part behind his head, and then that entire back part is one piece, and then his tail is one piece. So that is the components. I could maybe break it down to more than that, but then I have to like figure out how to put it back together in some coherent manner that actually makes that's surprising enough. This is solid because it's sitting in front of me and like I can pick this up and it doesn't like it almost doesn't fall apart. Almost. So here is, I don't know, some type of tank form is the best thing I can come up with. Some type of Cerberus-esque tank form with the 3 heads. Unfortunately, I have no way of getting all 3 heads to face forward. Because another limitation is how they plug together. And of course, Tiger Lance and Mirror Needles are both male connections, while Dime Volcanoes is a female connection. They all can't be one or the other. Because of course they fucking can't.
Of course.
So yeah, that's what I spent probably an hour doing. It's probably more like a half hour trying to like piece it together and be like, how the fuck am I doing this? Because I want to do this. I want to create a dumb. Because like this is why I wanted this Mini-Pla stuff. Because it's like you are able to do this dumb stuff and it supports it. So I want to do dumb stuff. And I would like more things so I can do more dumb things. Like we're getting our 6th Ranger for Ryus Olga in the next like few weeks or so. I think he's going to be out before the end of next month or in the like this month. So like the next main plot wave will be his main mech and probably a couple more auxiliaries. So now we have a full another mech to like start plugging bits onto. But that means we have 2 main mechs to figure out how to like plug together and then plug shit onto that. Is that this is the fun part of this, of just going, all right, you've got a whole bunch of Legos. Try to make something coherent out of it. Yeah, that's pretty much been it for me. Anything else before we hit articles?
I can't think of anything.
All right, who's ready to go fishing?
It already stinks.
Well, it's COD season because we have a brand new Call of Duty that is a reboot question mark of Modern Warfare.
Brand new Call of Duty that's not brand new.
Yes, dubbed Call of Duty Modern Warfare. A bunch of major gaming websites were able to go behind the scenes and get a demo reel of the game, actual like gameplay demo of it. And I guess most of this is going to come down to a breakdown of that stuff, because essentially, you can play as both, essentially, proper soldiers, essentially like Captain Price and his crew, and then you can play as rebels, and they have different skills and abilities associated with them. So Price and his crew have like all sorts of fancy tech and whatnot, but the rebels have more like skill-based stuff, like knowing the terrain and more traps. Also, there's an emphasis on like not shooting everything in a room, actually like reacting to the situation and going like, you're not hostile, we're not shooting you. So a bit more tactical gameplay. This is also, I believe, on a brand new engine. So this is a brand spanking new Call of Duty engine. And I want to say that's it, outside of like a couple specific levels and stuff that they got demoed, but it sounds neat. I wish we got more, like, for us. And I assume we'll get more at E3. But are you into the new COD?
Flash stalled COD.
Yeah.
It's COD. I mean, not really.
I'll give them credit. At least they're trying to get out of the box with this one and trying some new stuff. I don't know how long that will last or if that will be the entire game, but in concept, it sounds interesting, but I need to see it in motion because this reveal trailer here doesn't give us like anything of what I described. It more or less is selling you on a story that I don't even have a description for, really, because that's why I say reboot in question mark, because I don't even know if this is technically supposed to be a reboot of Modern Warfare, or it's just supposed to be, hey, here's the story of Captain Price and his crew nebulously before before the events of 4. Maybe.
Possibly. Probably not.
Also, we're looking at our October 25th release date. So yeah, that's COD. And moving on to something that I know I have not given 2 shits about until now, and now I have no real strong feelings. You remember Death Stranding, right?
Sure.
The game from Hideo Kojima, guy who does Metal Gear, or did Metal Gear, until Konami let him go, so he went and started his own studio, and this is his first game not under Konami.
I think I remember it.
Guillermo del Toro.
Like I said, I think I remember it.
Yeah, so until now, Death Stranding has been a nebulous... To be honest, it's been a nebulous thing that existed for years. And the only thing that has really sold this game to anyone is Kojima. I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like anything about this game has sold anybody besides Kojima's name being on the goddamn thing. Because every time I watched one of these trailers before now, it looked like nonsense. Because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So now we have a trailer that gives us gameplay, and you know that part in Breath of the Wild when you're roaming the world trying to get from place to place?
Uh-huh.
What if you had an entire game that was that, but you had more tools to navigate? Like you could get a ladder out and literally prop it up anywhere in order to climb a cliff or climb on top of something. Or you could pop a rappel line or pop a pole in the ground with rope and you could climb down something. And you also had a motorcycle, which is also a thing Breath of the Wild has, but by default you have a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's about what the gameplay of this is. Like, outside of that, there's some light combat from the looks of it. Granted, this is from Kojima, so Metal Gear. You can imagine what the combat will be like from that perspective. You have to also do some stealth stuff because there are these goopy monster creatures that will suck you into another world that is World War I, but not. And you have to find a way out and also not kill people because that's a bad thing. Because there's apparently there's no game over in this game. It's more of a case of you'll be sucked somewhere, you'll have to find a way out, and I guess you'll lose whatever gear you had on you. So kind of roguelike in that state, in that sense, with the possibility of having like a Dark Souls kind of situation where you could go back and get that stuff. Maybe. Still not clear on that part. making sense, right? Because this is to be honest, this is the only thing I'm really clear on in this fucking game.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Because to be honest, I have no idea what the fuck's going on in this story. All I know is there are these black goopy monsters that suck you into an alternate dimension that is like World War One, I think. Except it may be just like all wars kind of like coalescing into one. There's also this rain that ages things rapidly, in terms of what it rainfall that ages things rapidly when it hits it. So like when it hits a bird, it practically turns it into a corpse within seconds. There's this thing with the baby that you can see up top that allows you to see these black goopy monsters that are called BTs, which stands for beach things. Yes, that is legitimately. Yep, that is legitimately what it's called, folks. You can go look it up on the official website or Sony's website for this. That's what it's called. You play as a guy named I don't even remember his name. Not Cliff. Sam, who's played by Norman Reedus. And that's all I got. That's it. That's all I got. You're apparently trying to reunite the United States from a near cataclysmic event that is on a border from being an extinction level event. And apparently reconnecting the United States will like potentially make people like not end up dead forever, I guess. Still not clear on that part. This is all sounding like nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one that looks at all this and go, this is bonkers ass nonsense with like, alright. I know this is going to sound like weird when I say this initially, but like there's no grounding on this. And I don't mean grounding in the sense of realism. I mean grounding in the sense of who the fuck are we? What the fuck are we doing? And why do I care? I feel like we got none of that. Like we have no ground to stand on in this nebulous nonsense that is Death Stranding. And I don't like that. And I kind of don't want that. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to know, like, who the fuck is Sam? Like, what are we actually doing here? And why the fuck do I care? That's all I want to know. Those aren't hard questions. Those aren't even spoilery questions. Those are simple, basic questions, and I don't know if we have an answer to that in this nonsense.
Probably not.
All I know is we have a guy who's named Die Hard Man. Yes, it is a black guy who wears a skull-faced mask. Again, this is Kojima. These are Metal Gear Solid names. Does any of this like interest you at all?
Nope.
But yeah. Also, by the way, we got a release date for this finally. It's coming out November 8th. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. I would say we would find out more at E3, but Sony has no presence at E3 this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, and they're not even planning a state of play from what I've heard.
Yeah, no state of play. Like, the Nintendo has a direct for E3 to Sony. Why aren't you doing a state of play?
Yeah.
Well, I would say into better news, but some of this is also I wouldn't say it's baffling, but it's also one of those just, what? We had a Pokemon press conference, which turned out a lot like last year when we had a press conference that wasn't streamed, but we had information come out of it. Like, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when shit, what is it? The Pokemon game that's on Switch. That's like a mobile game.
Quest.
Yeah, that's when it was first announced. And I think the Let's Go games are also
in a while now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't think I even have it installed anymore. 'Cause I just gave up. I got tired of the paywall I was stuck in front of. So, yeah. Anyway, we had several announcements. We had a mention of Sword and Shield off the bat, but that has a direct Wednesday, so nothing big there. We are getting the conclusion to the Detective Pikachu story that was started on 3DS on the Switch. That is coming sometime soon. I would hope the rest of the game is coming to Switch. Otherwise, that would be really awkward.
Well, it might be really awkward then, because I have a funny feeling it won't.
We also had the announcement of Pokemon Sleep. Because it coincides with the announcement of the Pokemon Go Plus, which is... Oh my god. This is such a Nintendo-ass Nintendo thing. It is hilarious. So essentially, this Go Plus, instead of being like this little like watch size thing that you can wear on your wrist, it's now a puck with a light in the middle that's still shaped like a Pokeball. And this puck does everything that the Pokemon Go Plus does now. Except now, if you put it in bed, it monitors your sleep and you get rewards for your Pokemon as you sleep. And that's about the short and long that they explained, outside of pushing the turning sleep into entertainment phrase that was heard, I think, like 6 times during that press conference. And I guess Pokemon Sleep, which is coming from is it Dina? No, that's the other game. No, Select Button. Select Button is the one developing Pokemon Sleep, which is coming like next year. We'll be utilizing this part of the Go Plus to some extent. Like, this sounds like nonsense, right? Like, I get...
Sounds very Nintendo-y.
Yeah, because I get the intention. It's the same intention for Pokemon Go of like getting people to go out and walk. But here it's like, all right, people, we want you to actually go to fuck sleep and have like a good night's sleep. Okay. Can you explain more about this besides the pitch? Because I feel like that's all we got was the pitch. We also got the announcement of Pokemon Home, which is essentially Pokemon Bank. It's just going to be, here's an app that you can transfer all of your 3DS Pokemon, all your Let's Go Pokemon, all your Pokemon Go Pokemon, and Sword and Shield. And they can go out into Pokemon Home, and I guess from there they can be traded to people on the internet with your phone and stuff. So that's in play. And it will come out next year. Which you brought up the point of, oh boy, all those conversions from Let's Go and Pokemon Go into proper Pokemon numbers is going to be obnoxious.
Yeah. And I feel like it should have been phased. Like, I feel like they should have focused on the proper Pokemon games and then implemented Go and Let's Go. But yeah.
I honestly, all I want is my 3DS stuff on my Switch Sword or Shield game. Otherwise, I don't care. I don't have the Let's Go games. I don't really plan on getting the Let's Go games. And the Pokemon I have on Pokemon Go can stay on Pokemon Go for all I care. I have my shiny ass Charizard that I bred. I bred hundreds of Charmanders to get a shiny Charmander to evolve into a shiny Charizard. I'm good. All I need is all that stuff on my 3DS games on Switch. That's all I care about. So I'm just fine with that part. The Let's Go and the Go stuff, that I don't want to think about the data crunching that has to happen in the background for all that. Finally, in terms of game announcements, we have a new mobile game in the form of Pokemon Masters that is coming from DNA. I forgot what they did. I feel like they're doing something important, but essentially,
the mobile stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they're the ones for Super Mario Run, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. They're doing Pokemon Masters, which is essentially, it looks like a 3v3 turn-based battle game where you pair up with gym leaders and trainers from across the Pokemon games to battle other trainers and gym leaders and like Elite Four members and stuff from across the games. And that's about all they've said about Pokemon Masters, really. I assume it will be a gacha game of some variety, considering what we're dealing with.
Probably.
It looked neat. And it was probably the best thing to come out of this press conference, for me. And lastly, hey, the shirts, or like, all these shirt designs that we did for all of the original Pokemon, yeah, we're gonna bring those like to North America. So yay, you can get your fancy Pokemon shirts. And by fancy, I mean $100. Excuse me? Okay, no, I'm good. And these are like dress shirts for reference. So yeah, that's all our Pokemon talk. How do you feel?
I mean, Pokemon Sleep's a thing.
That it is a Nintendo-ass Nintendo thing.
I don't know, actually.
The only thing that has me out of this, in terms of the actual game content, is Masters. Otherwise, I'm like, this. Why was this? This is not for me. This is not for an audience. This is for investors and stuff. Like, we should not be seeing this. Because there's like nothing here. Because I think the only other thing that was really mentioned was mentioning Detective Pikachu, the movie, doing well, and plugging the Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution movie that's coming out. Because they had a guy from Toho plugging it. Because they're the ones doing it. Who also took the opportunity to plug the new Godzilla movie that came out like the day after this press conference.
Huh.
Which apparently is really good. I just, outside of Pokemon Masters, hey look, I can transfer my stuff. Good. None of this grabs me because it's all very nebulous and very too much concept, not enough hard, like like hard facts and content. Because like Pokemon Sleep feels like a very nebulous concept that needs grounding in terms of in order for it to hook people. I feel like
Maybe.
but that just might be me.
No, it's not just you, but I'm just saying maybe because the fact of people are weird.
True. Anything else?
No.
All right then, and that's pretty much it for articles. Like I said, a lot of the other stuff kind of related to E3, which we'll talk about now. Because, yep, we're doing our usual E3 coverage. We're looking at, or in my head currently, we're probably going to be going from Sunday to Wednesday on some nightly podcasts to talk about E3 stuff. Because that's about how things are looking to shake out. Because there's no reason for us to do anything on Saturday. Because only EA plays this Saturday. And that's not a press conference. It's more just them doing a series of streams a la Nintendo Treehouse. And I think the only major thing coming out of it is going to be the first look at Fallen Order's gameplay. The new Star Wars game. I know I've seen a schedule for it. Thank you. Yeah, about 9:30 Pacific will be Fallen Order, and then like every half hour from there, it will be like Apex Legends, Battlefield 5, FIFA 20, Madden, NFL 20, and then Sims 4. And that's it. But in terms of actual press conferences, we start on Sunday with Microsoft at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got 15 games to look forward to. Yay!
Yay!
I assume one of them will be Halo Infinite. At least I hope one of them will be Halo.
I assume one of those will be Master Chief Collection on PC.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. We have a new Gears of War that hasn't come out yet. I forgot about that.
Well, so there's 3 of them.
I was just like, wait a minute. What happened to the Gears of War that they showed off last? Oh, fuck me. They haven't even released that yet.
Yep, there's 3 of them.
Yeah. There'll probably be some third-party stuff. Like, the new Call of Duty will probably be there since there's no other press conference it would be at. Like, it can't be at Sony's because there is no Sony one. And that's not a Nintendo thing, so I doubt it's there. I don't even know if it's going to be coming to Switch to start with. So that, maybe Cyberpunk 2077, since that cropped up last year there. I feel like it'll be kind of like...
It's going to boil down to... We will hear about 15 games that we won't remember 13 of them, I'm willing to bet. Because I have to think that one of the 3 we just mentioned probably aren't going to make the cut.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, I forgot about that Gears of War until just now. I could have believed it's just like, wow, you announced the Gears of War game that looked pretty good, and then you kind of forgot about it for an entire fucking year plus at this point. Oh no, 3 Gears of War games. Oh fuck, I forgot. Because they also had that Funko Pop one they announced. And they had a tactical one. Like an XCOM tactical Gears of War that they announced.
And we've seen nothing.
Yeah, oh fuck, I forgot. Oh, the Microsoft press conference is like slowly coming back to me right now in terms of like all the nonsense they showed. Just ugh.
Oh man, that's what happens when you oversaturate your ideas.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, we had 23 games last year for Microsoft's press conference.
Yeah.
And really none of them were that memorable because people forgot that some things were even announced.
Yeah, because like I think Cyberpunk got announced then, and that didn't really take off until recently when we got that like hour-plus gameplay look within the last few months.
I mean, perhaps maybe they need to quit focusing on the quantity and focus on the quality.
I honestly hope so.
Because, I mean,
we
even
also
15 games. How long is their press conferences usually?
oh wait, my bad. The conference isn't at 3:30, it's at 4 o'clock. My bad. About an hour or so, I think.
So we're giving each game approximately 4 minutes of time.
Yeah.
Either that or we're giving certain games half the show and the other 10 are probably going to get crammed together in like a 5-minute section.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I feel like that's a bad idea. Like, bring them all with you. Say these games are on the show floor. Find out more from there.
Yeah.
But maybe focus the press conference in on maybe 4 or 5 that you don't have with you.
The big important stuff, to be honest.
Well, I mean, at this point, unless you start diving into points where they're probably not going to, with like Halo or Gears, I mean, you pretty much already have your target audience. There's no one new really to sell that to.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see those if they bring them with them to just be like, hey, we do have this, go check it out. But then focus more on the new stuff / the stuff that they think might draw more crowds.
And also the stuff that is coming out within the next year or so.
Not, a Halo game that we've heard nothing else about.
I heard nothing about, have no idea what is, and was more or less a glorified tech demo.
Yeah. Like, I hope that we get something out of Master Chief Collection for PC. I highly doubt it. Because Microsoft plays the good guy on the whole, oh, we want to bring stuff to PC gamers too, but at the same time, they really don't care. It's one of those, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, oh well.
Yeah. Well, an upturn, I guess. Yeah, Bethesda at 8:30 Eastern. Same day.
What really is there for them to show, though?
New or coming out?
Either.
Coming out, the new Doom. I believe the new Wolfenstein with what is his name? BJ's kids. Something maybe related to Rage 2 since it came out recently.
Like you see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like this year might be a tough one for them to pull something decent out.
Yeah. Because there won't be any Elder Scrolls talk because they've already confirmed that.
Yeah, I think they might have finally ran out of things to port Skyrim to.
Well, I meant the new Elder Scrolls, not Skyrim. Was it Starfield?
I don't remember.
Their like space RPG thing.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a teaser, much like the fucking Skyrim, not Skyrim. Elder Scrolls 6 was. So yeah, I guess Bethesda has room for surprises, but I would not expect anything for 76, to be honest, considering, oh boy, did that game go nowhere and went downhill hard. Like, so hard, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll skip over Devolver because they're more of a comedy show than a press conference. Although, I think last year it's announced some things. I think
you're right.
But on Monday, we got Ubisoft at 4 o'clock Eastern. I believe Beyond Good and Evil 2 has a thing this coming week. So there'll be that at E3. I think they'll probably show off Division 2's raid because it got pushed back. So they'll probably give it a big showcase here. There will be something new Nintendo collaboration wise.
Maybe? Question mark?
I hope it's something neat and cool. It's like I would like another surprise like Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah. I got to thinking of something though.
What?
They've done Mario. They've done Star Fox. What if we saw something Metroid related?
I would say maybe, but like that would have had to been in development for some time because like Metroid Prime is on is on the back burner at the moment while it's still being developed. So if it's a Metroid thing,
there wasn't that big of a gap between Odyssey and Kingdom Battle.
Mm-hmm.
It could be possible.
Yeah. Well, if it's a Metroid thing, I was like, well, I wouldn't think they would do a proper Metroid game.
No.
So
I would think it would be more akin to like how they've been doing with Starlink and Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, so what could they do with Metroid it's like, what would a not proper Metroid game be with Ubisoft?
You'd never know.
At this, I'm honestly looking at them going, why don't we give you something and have you do a proper thing of it for once? Like, I don't know. Let's give you
I don't know on that though. I legitimately think Nintendo's actually kind of at the mindset of being like, okay, yeah, just you do your thing and you can use us when you need to.
I was about to say F-Zero, because you're never going to do anything with F-Zero at this point.
But then you get into the problem of what you do with F-Zero that would actually work.
Yeah.
Because, okay, yeah, you could do another racing game. But everyone kind of knows that Mario Kart's the reason why F-Zero is kind of dead. So... What could F-Zero bring to the table that the other 1001 racing games doesn't have?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure where to go. And maybe that it's just the thought of, okay, Ubisoft, you did good with Mario and Rabbids. You did all right with Starlink, I feel like. Although the fact that they have stopped the physical toy support for it probably is not the best sign.
I think I'm leaning towards we're probably going to see something Metroid-wise. And it's probably going to be a case of it was supposed to be a lead into Prime 4 with, but now since Prime 4's been pushed back, it's going to have to kind of stand on its own.
Yeah.
Which that might hurt it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Or it could potentially be a case of they might have told them to do something with Star Fox. Like, proper Star Fox.
I would actually like that.
I mean, the only reason I say that is because, let's be honest, Nintendo's not been doing them good.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not let another developer try and see what happens?
Yeah. I'm not sure what of the big Ubisoft stuff we're probably going to see outside of the new Ghost Recon. Because that was announced recently, so they'll probably give it a push. Well, we also have on Monday Square Enix at 9 o'clock. So, probably some 14 news.
Yeah.
Because I think they're coming into an expansion soon. Or going into expansion soon. So, there's going to be like a push for 14.
Probably some 15 news.
I don't think so, because I think they've stopped development on 15.
Oh, well, that's surprising.
Yeah, because I think it will just be like that one DLC that's supposed to come out, and then it'll be it. Because they canceled everything else.
I
think Episode Arden is like it. So once that come out, Final Fantasy 15's done.
Good.
We'll probably see actual footage of the 7 remake. Like actual gameplay of it.
Maybe.
I hope. After giving us a glimpse of gameplay, of like some proper gameplay, fuck's sakes, give us a demo. And like give us a confirmation of like how many games this is, because they still haven't confirmed that.
Yeah, and if they're not splitting it off the discs, then yeah.
Well, I think I saw a rumor that said two games for this. And game 1 would end with Aerith's death.
I'm not really sure on where that falls. So,
Neither am I. So, we'll see the Avengers game, and finally get to see that in action. I'm actually curious about that. That's like probably the one thing I'm really curious from Square Enix, because like I don't know if you'll show the Remind DLC just yet. I don't know if that's ready to be shown. Maybe we'll get a teaser for it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna like hold out hope for KH3 related material anymore. So I'm trying to think of what from the people from studios under them. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else super big from them. I don't think.
I don't know.
You thinking anything? Yeah.
Unless we've got something possibly Octopath Traveler related.
Well, we have the mobile game coming out soon.
I mean,
so maybe they'll show that.
I don't know otherwise.
Yeah. So our last press conference on Tuesday, Nintendo. So probably more Pokemon, probably a recap of the Direct, and maybe a little extra.
Maybe. Nintendo's got a bad habit of not wanting to repeat Directs, so
yeah,
maybe not, unless something new is being held back for this.
Well, that's why I say that we'll probably get the box art legendaries at the Direct or at E3. Because they'll show off the box art legendaries. They'll give us a bigger picture idea of like maybe some story stuff. Maybe gyms. Give us an idea on how gyms are at E3.
Maybe.
But I think we'll get like half and half between like the Direct and E3. Like the Direct will give us like the basics and like the groundwork, whereas E3 will give us like the big picture stuff.
Like I said, maybe.
Yeah.
I could see them rolling everything into the Direct, but at the same time I also feel like they'll want to hold something back just so they can have that reason to kind of be like, yeah, this is coming out.
Yeah. I almost don't know if I want to say we'll get our second Smash character announced, because I'm not sure. I feel like yes. But
well,
as to who...
I know everyone originally was kind of thinking maybe, which kind of works out because that it is this weekend, but Smash and Splash kind of being the announcement of the next DLC fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, it time-wise, it could work for this weekend, but maybe E3 as close as it is.
Yeah, I think they would save it for like a big surprise closer to the end of the Direct, just being like here's our next fighter.
It depends on how packed the Direct is.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them just being like, it's a DLC fighter. Let's do it at this event because it's kind of focusing around the game, so sure.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I'm hopeful for Prime Trilogy, but at this point I'm not holding my breath.
I feel like Prime Trilogy would be an easy, like, here's a holiday release for us, or here's like a summer release for us.
Like,
if it is announced.
What really surprised me is if they announced that it was available the day of the conference, because then that would be one of those straight out of left field what kind of moments.
I feel like they're gonna shadow drop something. But Nintendo's always shadow dropped something at E3, so like, yeah, we're gonna drop something on your faces.
It's one of those, I almost feel like that could be it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually stuff like that, we've gotten a little bit of, hey, this might be coming. And we've not really, outside of the whole, you know, it probably has gotten shuffled around because of Prime 4.
Yeah.
So I can't see them just flat dropping that one.
Yeah. Mario Maker 2 will probably have a little bit more information. Especially since it's coming out so close. It comes out the weekend after E3.
Yeah, but it might just get a quick drop.
True.
Because it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, from what I was watching, because I was actually watching someone else kind of break down the Maker Direct, there is some themes that were not mentioned in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is room for stuff to be mentioned. I don't think it'll happen, though. I think it'll be more of a, we're going to use this as release marketing strategy.
Yeah, because, like, as I've pointed out, like, Ultimate Alliance 3 and Fire Emblem 3 Houses come out, like, a week apart from each other, and that's, like, starting almost the week after E3, so both of them are gonna get mentioned. 3 Houses probably won't have a whole lot of information, because I think it's all of its information has come out within the last few weeks.
And that's where I think Maker 2 might have the difference there, is because I feel like they've not announced everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they tried to act like they did, I still don't think they have.
Yeah. What else? I would say Amiibo, but like Mario Maker 2 is confirmed to not support Amiibo.
And really, there's not that much of a support for Amiibos on the Switch.
Yeah, outside of what? Smash, really? Nothing else really big is supporting Amiibo.
Well, Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah.
But really, those two's kind of it.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me think that, like, maybe once they wrap up the Smash Amiibo for all the fighters, the Amiibo's kind of done until they get something new to push the line. Because I think that's the problem for Amiibo right now, is that there's no game to really push Amiibo with, like, in association.
Well, and
or
the
even
only time
designed
that they
for.
did have something like that, it didn't go over well either. Because Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And it didn't really go over well.
Yeah, so it would be kind of sad, because I like Amiibo, because it's really not, they're really nice, but I think once we wrap up all the Smash Amiibo to come, especially for the DLC fighters, that's the end of Amiibo, potentially. Unless Nintendo surprises us with, here is something that supports all Amiibo in, like, some big way that would, like, push people to, like, really utilize their Amiibo collection.
The only other thing I can think of is maybe patching it into Maker 2 or adding it as a DLC later down the road.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think there's any games that really could fully utilize that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the extent that they made Amiibos too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I I could actually kind of see something like a Mario Party where it was set up for any amiibos. I could see something like that being kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt they're going to do something of that nature.
Yeah. I would assume the Persona 5 Muso game will be talked about, maybe. But I'm not sure. Like, we've gotten a bit of news about Persona 5 Royale, but not a super whole lot. So I don't know if those two are a wait till later this year for more information.
Probably.
I assume the 3DS will probably not get that much talked about because, like, the last major release for it that we have at the moment comes out in what do I have it listed in the releases? 2 days.
Switch Mini.
Was that the one that was pushed back, or was it the higher end Switch? Oh, no, it was the higher end Switch that was pushed back.
Pushed back? You mean told not gonna happen?
Yeah.
Because that's two different things there, being told not gonna happen and just being said it's pushed back.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. Like,
No, I'm thinking the Mini they did confirm was going to be out this year. Probably some information.
mm-hmm.
Maybe not a lot. I'd say something like that would have its own direct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that outside of like a big surprise like franchise of like, here's Splatoon 3 out of like coming next year.
I think too early.
Yeah. That definitely, yeah. I was like, that'll probably be announced like next year. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Metroid Prime 3 being pushed back.
4, not 3.
Or not. Yeah, not 3. 4. 4 being pushed back shuffles releases for them.
I don't really think it did. I think the big thing that really kind of screwed up everything is I feel like, especially since we have had this delay for first party releases for them,
mm-hmm.
I feel like it might have boiled down to more than just Prime 4 wasn't ready.
Yeah, because I feel like Prime 4 was probably supposed to be the other marquee title for this holiday season, and now it's not. So I feel like, does something get moved up? Is something good enough to be moved up into that slot?
I don't think anything really was.
Does something...
To be fair, I find it kind of weird that we've got Fire Emblem and Maker 2 coming out within, a week of each other?
Practically, and if you include Ultimate Alliance 3, which is also a Switch exclusive, yeah, that's like 3 weeks of Switch games back to back to back. Of major Switch games back to back to back.
And it's one of those, I'm like, one of these wasn't planned for this month. And I'm feeling like it probably was Maker.
Probably.
So that's telling me that we probably had more than just one have to get shuffled around to make work.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be what happened with the Prime trilogy. It might have been supposed to be the way to bookend the year, so to say. Start with the trilogy and with Prime 4, and now that Prime 4 doesn't exist, they're at the point of, now what? Now
where do we put this? Like, timing-wise? Because, like, we don't want to put it, like, too early from, or like super early from Metroid Prime 4, so it will be relevant. But we don't want to put it too late so that you're buying the trilogy plus 4 at the same time.
I mean, I'll be flat out. The people that want Prime 4, they're going to replay the trilogy before Prime 4 comes out.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it. I'm kind of on the camp of holding out, because if the Prime trilogy is a potential thing for the Switch, I would rather play it on the Switch. Because I've got it for the Wii, and I hate motion controls. If it came down to that, I would be cracking open Dolphin for the first two. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I kind of want the quote-unquote superior version.
Well, shall we talk about what's not going to be at E3? Because there's a couple things here that are going to prove up. I probably should have read this ahead of time.
Leave it to you to think that IGN did their homework.
Well, it's more not IGN did their homework, it's more I should have done my homework. Because, Beyond Good and Evil 2, talking about being at E3? Yeah, no, that's not the case. Its own thing, and that's it on June 5th. Skull and Bones, not at E3, which is like the second or third year in a row it's not been at E3 since it's been originally announced. Like, this one's been on the docket for a while, and it's apparently still not coming out. No new Need for Speed. No Metroid Prime 4. Apparently Nintendo will only be talking about stuff coming out this year. So, I guess they're gonna just not tease anything beyond this year at E3.
I have to think that is because of Prime 4.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
Because, they did kind of tease it, and now look at what's happened.
Yeah.
I have to think that they're like, you know what? We're not doing that again. Not worth it.
Sony will not be attending E3 in any official capacity. So Sony is just checked out. It probably doesn't help that I think I read somewhere that like Last of Us 2 is pushed back to like next year. So that's like a very big marquee title for them that's not happening this year. And like between that and Death Stranding, I don't know what else they would be showing off. If they're well, they would be showing off that samurai game that they showed off last year. That looked really good. But we've heard no hide nor hair of that one. And EA's doing their EA Play stuff. But that doesn't mean we won't have stuff, because we do have stuff. A nice little list of stuff. Anthem is going to be trying to bounce back. Battlefield 5 has some stuff shown. Probably have some DLC. I believe Atlas has confirmed Catherine has something coming to E3 this year. Apparently we're getting a new Darksiders at this year's E3. Confirmed. Division 2, its raid will probably be shown off. Doom Eternal. Dying Light 2, didn't think about that one. For Honor is still kicking somehow. I am honestly surprised that it's still kicking. The new Monster Hunter World DLC will probably have something. That's very true. Psychonauts. Sims. Splatoon and Smash. I think is it Splatoon 2's like support wrapping up within the next couple months? Nothing super surprising there. Let's see what we got in rumors. Excuse me?
What?
The one below Darkmourn and above Elder Scrolls Blades. Excuse me? Really? Okay. I was about to say, I know what Destroy All Humans is. Do you know what that is?
I don't think so.
You remember Pandemic, right?
I think.
They used to do the Battlefronts.
Yeah.
Or they were the, yeah. They did a third-person shooter where you played as an alien. Or, is that? I was about to say, that is one of the, yep. Third-person shooter where you played as an alien and, like, you beamed up cows and stuff. It was a little comedy, like, fun little game from back on the PlayStation 2. I've heard about this from Vati Vidya, From Software's new project called Rune? Something Rune? I forget the other part of it. George R. R. Martin of Game of Thrones is involved in it. Those two Gears games, Luigi's Mansion 3, which will probably be shown off if it's coming out this year. New Ori game. Oh yeah, Splinter Cell's is rumored at the moment. I was about to say, why is Sword and Shield here rumored when it has a direct the week before? Of course it's going to be there. They will literally have a bunch of kiosks there for Sword and Shield. That's their marquee holiday title at the moment. I think it's their only marquee holiday title at the moment.
Okay, because they're unannounced.
Okay. The Wolfenstein. That's really it.
I mean, I could see that with Sword and Shield. Like, it's probably more rumored in terms of the fact that it could potentially be a rumored for the press conference kind of deal.
Yeah. But it'll be on the showroom floor. There is no way in hell that is not on the showroom floor. They will have you playing Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it. It feels weird because it's like we will have new consoles to talk about next year. So it's like it's all games, but nothing super big game-wise.
Yeah, they should. Truthfully, if Sony had been there, you know as well as I do, we would have had new consoles this year and next year to talk about. But
yeah. But a fun week to be had. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the Pokemon Direct next week. I'm just like, I want to see what our new Pokemon is. I want to see what our starter bird is, what our starter rodent is, because I fully expect them to keep the trends, because they always keep the trends. And I super want to see those box art legendaries. I have a feeling that will decide which version I'm getting. Like, I will wait until we get like all the exclusives on the table, but I feel like the box art legendary will be a big swing in one direction or the other at the moment. Because right now we have nothing to distinguish the games.
Very true.
Which, like, I don't know why people were like, I'm picking this game or that game when there is no substantial difference between them. They are at the same game right now. But are you ready for releases?
I guess so.
All right, picking up on the 4th, Oh boy. We have Effie for PlayStation 4. Kododama, the 7 mysteries of Fujisawa for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Legend of the Tetra? What the fuck word is that?
Tetrarchs
for PlayStation 4. Neon Junctions for PlayStation 4 and Vita. Per Chang for Switch. Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth for 3DS. Like the only 3DS release that I have seen for months. Months, mind you. Is this that comes out in 2 days.
What are you talking about? The next game is for the 3D. Oh, wait. No, never mind.
Yeah.
For those that didn't quite get that, that was the whole joke. The Switch is not the 3DS's successor. Because it kind of is.
It literally has become it.
The only reason it wasn't is because it was a new console. That was it.
We also have Red Siren Space Defense for Switch, Super Blood Hockey for PlayStation 4, Super Skelemania for PlayStation 4 and Switch, The Elder Scrolls Online, Elsewhere for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, another expansion for ESO. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2 for PlayStation 4, The Savior's Gang for PlayStation 4, Time Spinner for Xbox One and Switch, Tiny Derby for Switch, Warhammer Chaos Bane for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and World Wheel by Paugi for PlayStation 4 and Vita. On the 5th, we have As Divine Dios for Xbox One, and on the 6th, we have Artifact Adventure Gaiden DX for Switch, Bullet Battle Evolution for Switch, Fate City for Switch, Hue for Switch, Legend of the Tetrarax for Switch, MotoGP 19 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Phantom Doctrine for Switch, Pixark for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Chi and the Lightbearer for Switch, Slay the Spire for Switch. That's actually really good. The only thing is, I would say actually pick it up on the Switch or on the PC because you can mod the fuck out of the game.
I can see that.
Because you only have like 3 playable characters and like the deck compositions you can do with that. But if you get it on PC, people have done like brand new characters and own their own deck stuff. Like I've seen, I think it was Andy AML. Like there's a Goku character that you can play as. Like there's a whole bunch of nonsense you could do with that game because of mods. And considering the nature of the game, yeah, I would want a bit more variety than just the 3 characters. We also have Summoner Sports Games for Switch, the Sushi Spinnery for Switch, Toki for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and World Wheel by Pogi for Switch. On the 7th, we have Earhart Tales of Broken Wings for PlayStation 4, Mobadora Revier Under the Moonlight for Switch, Omen Slot Definitive Edition for Xbox One, Party Golf for Xbox One, Refunked for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Super Blood Hockey for Xbox One, Strut Kite Party for PlayStation 4, and Warlocks 2 Godslayers for Switch. On the 8th, we have Pico Park for Switch, and on the 11th, we have Battle Worlds Chronos for Switch, Dragonstar Vranmir for PlayStation 4, The House and Fate Morgana, Dream of the Revenants Edition for PlayStation 4, Verlet Swing for PlayStation 4, and Warhammer Vermintide 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On the 12th, we have 2 Revive, however the fuck that's supposed to go, for Xbox One, and Bertram Fiddle Episode 2, A Bleaker Predicament for Xbox One. And on the 13th, we have Enchanted in the Moonlight, Kiryu Chikage, and Yuki no Jo, and on the Switch, and Miyabi, Kyogo, and Samon for the same game on the Switch. I assume that's DLC stuff. We also have Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry for PlayStation 4 and Switch. There's a Leisure Suit Larry game coming out on a Nintendo console. That is something to behold.
Yep.
'Cause I don't. You know what Leisure Suit Larry is?
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have Platigo Super Platform Game Maker for Switch. And finally, on the 14th, we have Verlet Swing for Xbox One and Switch, and Vorsair Lair of the Forgotten for Switch. That's it. Take us through the madness. That takes us to Quick Draws, and mine goes to something I'm surprised it's getting a remaster, but it's still cool because it's actually a good game. Do you remember the Ghostbusters game from a while back?
Not directly, no.
Well, this is not the one based on the recent movie. This actually came out before then. And it's kind of like a third Ghostbusters movie. It's actually it's a pretty good game overall. You play as a new recruit and you kind of deal with Ghostbuster stuff. It's nice. It brings back all the original cast members they could. Yeah, I'm looking. I would actually look into this because it's a really good game. I recommend anyone to check this out when it comes out.
And it's coming out on everything.
Sometime this year.
Well, everything except for mobile.
And for PC, it's the Epic Game Store. Of course.
Of course it is.
And that is it. E3, I don't know. It feels weird, still weird that E3 is going to be like, it doesn't feel as big as it normally does. But we'll probably still just have cool stuff. But it also doesn't help that this is like the 4th year in a row we're doing this for E3.
Yeah.
It feels a bit more like just business as usual.
Yeah, it kind of does now. Which is odd.
Yeah. So, if you enjoyed what you've listened to, or any of our others that you've seen on the stream, drop us a follow. We would really appreciate it. Tell your friends to also drop by and give us a listen. And if they enjoy it, tell them to get a follow. Have them follow too. If you want updates, we have the Twitter at TG Saloon. They will let you know when we go live. This next week is me continuing 1-5 from Ace Attorney 1, or Case 5 from Ace Attorney 1 on Wednesday. Thursday will be something I'll probably decide on that day. Tuesday will be our last episode of TGSR until after E3.
Yep.
Since things are going to get interrupted the week of E3. So we'll have to schedule around that. Friday will be us continuing Twilight Princess.
Yep.
And Saturday
will part of the quest with the Master Sword.
Yep. And Saturday will be something multiplayer related.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna just intentionally bench Fortnite so we can do something different.
Probably for the best.
I have no idea what though. Oh, wait. I might have an idea. I forgot. Grim Eclipse has an endless horde mode now.
Ooh.
we might do that.
It has been forever since I played that game.
Same. I had Steam up the other day and I was looking through everything and I clicked on it and I'm like, wait a minute, they added something new. Huh. I say new. It came out like the middle of January. Shows how little I'm on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have the Discord, which has a brand new text chat called Questioned Dropbox. If you have a question for us about games or movies or television or just whatever, drop it in there. We will happily answer it either here or on TGSR. Depends on which podcast that question is more relevant on. And also depends on when we get it.
Yeah.
But hop on there. There's a link provided by the bot for !Discord. I think it's also linked down below. Is it linked down below?
I don't know. I need to go through the cards again. It was, but I don't know if it still is.
Okay.
I need to go through the cards again down there.
Check that out. And tune in about a week or so when we'll be talking E3 just like this. See you then, folks.